This is the story of a young woman named Bua, the only daughter of her parents. They loved her deeply, and because her family was well off, Bua grew up living a comfortable and privileged life. Whatever she wanted, she received. Whatever she chose to do, nothing ever stood in her way. Her world seemed filled with happiness, as if her path had always been paved with rose petals. When Bua was a child, she wasn't particularly cute. Her father, though wealthy, was considered unattractive, and her parents' marriage had been an arranged one. Bua's mother was a gentle, soft-spoken woman who rarely voiced her opinions. When she married Bua's father, she became the beautiful bride in an arranged marriage. Bua's father loved her mother deeply. She was obedient, kind, and a good wife. But when Bua was born, she inherited most of her father's looks' unattractive features: curly hair, a square jawline, and a flat nose. The only traits she inherited from her mother were her fair skin and tall figure as she grew older. Because of her height, she appeared larger than other girls her age, and from head to toe, she was considered plain, especially in her mother's eyes. No matter how fair her skin was, most people still saw Bua as a rather unattractive girl. Yet she was always loved and spoiled, especially by her father. Even as she grew into adulthood, her parents' affection for her never changed. Despite not being pretty, Bua had one charming quality: her personality. She may have inherited her father's looks, but she received her mother's gentle manners and polite nature. So even though she wasn't beautiful, she was kind-hearted and always considerate of others. Bua also had a close friend named Thip. They had been best friends since high school. The difference between them was striking. Thip was beautiful, while Bua was not. Sometimes Bua felt secretly jealous, seeing how Thip attracted boys even from early high school, while no one ever paid attention to her. But Bua didn't let it bother her too much. It was just a quiet feeling of envy that came and went. And because she came from a wealthy family, Bua always had people around her, both male and female friends who wanted to be close to her. But Bua knew the truth. Most of those friends didn't really want to be close to her. They were hoping for financial benefits. Only Thip was sincere. She was the one who truly cared about Bua. Because of that, Bua loved Tip deeply, and Tip loved her just the same. After graduating high school, they entered an expensive private university together. At the university, Thip quickly became the campus beauty. She was gorgeous, and boys flocked to her non-stop. Bua, on the other hand, was barely noticed. No one looked her way. Sometimes, she felt a sting in her heart. She wondered whether any boy would ever talk to her if Thip wasn't standing beside her. But in truth, Bua was overthinking it. Even if she didn't attract romantic attention, she still had many classmates, both girls and boys, who enjoyed talking to her. Because Bua was kind, friendly, and easy to be around. Still, she wanted a boyfriend like Thip. That thought made her feel like her other friends didn't matter, as if she herself didn't have anything good to offer. Many times, Bua went home and complained to her parents, asking why she was born so unattractive, why she couldn't be beautiful like Thip. Whenever her father heard her say that, he would fall silent. He felt guilty, believing it was his genes that made his daughter unattractive. Bua's mother was always the one who eased the uncomfortable moments. She would highlight Bua's good qualities, reminding her that even if she wasn't beautiful on the outside, a person could still be beautiful in other ways, through kindness, generosity, and a gentle heart. And those qualities were all inside Bua. Whenever her mother said this, her father would join in, giving her more encouragement. He always told her not to worry too much, that she was still fortunate to be born into a comfortable family, a life where she didn't have to struggle for basic happiness. Their comfort worked every time, for a while. But eventually, Bua would fall back into the same feelings again. This cycle repeated over and over. Then, during her 3rd year of university, everything changed. One day, she met a young man. Handsome, well-mannered, and genuinely likable. Curious about him, Bua quietly looked into who he was. She discovered that he belonged to another faculty entirely, and she couldn't help but wonder why she had only met him now, so late into her college years. He was already a senior in his 4th year. From what Bua learned, he preferred a quiet life and avoided anything chaotic. That was why he rarely joined university activities. And why not many people knew him. Bua was instantly drawn to him. She kept asking around until she finally learned his name, Crit. Then she looked for a way to talk to him. Eventually, she managed to approach him, and the two began to talk. That was when she found out Crit already had a girlfriend. Hearing that broke her heart. She had already fallen for him, but Bua forced herself to stay calm, telling herself that it was fine. Maybe, just maybe, if they kept talking, he might come to like her personality. Crit, on his side, liked Bua too. Not romantically, but he found her pleasant, polite, and easy to talk to. Then one day, Crit asked Bua to go to the library with him. He said he wanted to introduce his girlfriend. Even though her chest tightened with pain, Bua forced a smile and quietly followed him to the library. When they arrived, Bua froze in shock. Crit's girlfriend was Thip. Thip was just as surprised to see Bua walking with Crit. She told Crit that Bua was her close friend, though they didn't talk often because they studied in different faculties. Bua felt a deep stab of jealousy as she watched Crit care for Thip so tenderly. It was obvious how much the two loved each other. Thip had no idea that Bua secretly liked Crit. Thip often invited Bua to join them for lunch. Whenever she did, the atmosphere always felt awkward. Bua once joked that she didn't want to be a third wheel, smiling on the outside, while hurting terribly on the inside. But Thip told her not to think too much. Even if she had a boyfriend now, Bua was still her friend. And Crit didn't mind either. He believed that Thip's friends were his friends too. Bua didn't want to sit with them. Not when the girlfriend he loved wasn't her. But because she wanted to stay close to Crit, she forced herself to join their lunches again and again. Thip was happy, thinking she was sharing meals with her boyfriend and her best friend. She had no idea Bua had hidden feelings. Bua did this many times, and every time, she ended up crying at home afterward. She eventually told her parents everything. Bua's heartbreak caused her parents great sorrow as well. Her mother always tried to comfort her, telling her to let go of her feelings for Crit and focus on activities that could ease her stress and disappointment. Bua listened. She had always been obedient to her parents. When Bua and Thip reached their 4th year, Crit graduated and started working at a large, well-known company. He and Thip were still very much in love. After Bua and Thip graduated, Thip joined the same company as Crit, which only made their relationship even sweeter. Bua could no longer bear the sight, but she had no choice. She ended up working at the same company as well, and she had to see them together every single day. Her misery grew deeper. She blamed herself, believing she was too unattractive. that this was why she never found happiness in love, and why no man ever paid attention to her. Seeing how devastated she had become, her parents finally made a decision. They suggested that Bua should undergo cosmetic surgery. At first, Bua was terrified. She worried about how painful the surgery might be. But her desire to be beautiful was stronger, so she decided to travel abroad with her parents and undergo a full transformation, from head to toe, including reshaping her body and figure. Before leaving the country, Bua resigned from her job and said goodbye to her close friends. She told everyone that she and her family were moving overseas for work. They exchanged emails and parted ways. Bua's parents found a famous hospital and well-known surgeons to take care of her. They spent a huge amount of money, but they were willing to invest if it meant their daughter could finally feel beautiful. The process was painful for Bua. Cosmetic surgery involved many procedures that her body had to endure. She needed mental strength to let her body heal and settle into its new shape. And to maintain a beautiful figure, she had to be disciplined with her diet, her sleep, and her daily exercise. But Bua accepted everything. In the end, she transformed completely. From her hair to her toes, she became a beautiful woman. So stunning that even her own parents could barely recognize her. When Bua finally became beautiful, her parents reminded her of one thing. No matter how perfect the body may look, the heart is far more important. Especially her mother. She emphasized this deeply. Her mother told her to never lose the good heart she had always carried. Bua promised she wouldn't. After her surgery, Bua changed her name to Frewa, so no one at the company would recognize her. Frewa then began planning to take Crit for herself. She approached him little by little, trying to get close to him, but Crit truly loved Tip. Even though the new woman at work was attractive and eye-catching, he had no interest in playing along. This made Frewa furious. She used every trick she could, until Crit eventually fell for her trap. She slipped him sleeping pills and took photos of him while he was unconscious. She lay beside him, her clothes purposely disheveled, and sent the pictures to Thip. Thip was devastated and immediately broke up with Crit. Crit tried to beg for forgiveness. After several months, he finally managed to win her back and told her the truth, what had really happened. He told Thip that he had been tricked by a new employee named Frewa. Neither Crit nor Thip knew that this woman was actually Boo, their old friend. When Crit and Thip got back together, Frewa was furious. She thought Crit was foolish for choosing not to love someone as beautiful as her. Now confident in her new looks, Bua stopped caring about Crit and Thip. She began chasing after men, mostly those who already had girlfriends. Deep inside, she still carried her old insecurities. Her personality changed completely, so drastically that her parents grew worried. No matter how they tried to warn her, she refused to listen, so unlike the gentle girl she used to be. Before her transformation, both her father and mother lived in constant worry as they watched their daughter become someone else. Then one day, they received a phone call from the police telling them to rush to the hospital. Bua had been attacked. Acid thrown on her face and upper body. Her parents nearly collapsed. And when they arrived, the sight of Bua's injuries almost made them faint again. Her face and torso were badly burned, covered in wounds. The police explained that a woman had secretly thrown acid on Bua because Bua had stolen her boyfriend. Hearing this, Bua's parents were devastated. Her mother wept uncontrollably, regretting deeply that she had ever taken her daughter to get plastic surgery. Beauty had changed Bua, twisting her from a kind-hearted girl into someone reckless and thoughtless. Her parents contacted the same hospital and surgeon who had operated on her before. They sent photos of Bua's injuries, hoping there was still a chance. But the doctor refused. He explained that with burns this severe, there was no possible way to restore her face to what it once was. Bua was now permanently disfigured, and from that day on, she no longer had the courage to face the world again. Drawn by BikiBaam. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, so you won't miss any of our new creative clips. Support our art journey with a super thanks. See you again in the next clip. Coming soon!